Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, when I was looking at this today, I noticed that, well, you know, not even today, I think I noticed it right after I finished stream, that, man, once I added the lines onto this, her arms got so freaking skinny, man. Like, I wanted them to be skinny, but there are limits. And then when I was looking at the picture before stream today, I noticed that somehow my gradients didn't get copied over to this side. That was awkward. I realized that I used selections to shape this, and whoops. I gotta be careful about that when I'm doing symmetrical stuff. So, you know, I figure I'll just go fix these things. Anyway, let me go find where I put the armor piece here. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just gonna do the basic thing where I kill it on one side. Just completely. There we go. And now I can just put it back and it'll be fine. Huzzah for things being completely symmetrical, or right down the middle. Crisis averted. Anyway, for this one, I'm gonna have a little bit of a harder time. I'm just gonna do the thing where, you know, I do it on just one end, so that this way I can use selections. And so that does mean that I'm going to have to kill the other side, and it is what it is. I just gotta find the right one. I really should maybe be more descriptive and what I call my lines layers. It's like, I know my head is kind of covering it, but if you look over here, I'll just scooch over for a second. I have just been using the group name to differentiate between them, and all the lines layers are just called lines. Yeah. Maybe I should have thought that through a little better. Oh well. 50-50 on whether I change my ways. It's just how it is. Okay. There we go. Back in place here. Okay. So I'm just going to kill this side again. All of it will leave, and now I can freely do what I want over here. Okay. Fortunately, I do think that this will be easy. Kind of unfortunate that I happen to put a gradient here, but I'll just put it back afterwards. It's all good. I'm just kind of debating my approach, but I do think I can just kind of come in here, grab the line here. Do I want... Yeah. I was wondering, do I want the shadow to be a little thicker, or do I only want the highlight area to be a little thicker? And I think when it comes down to it, it's a little both, so I'll make a second selection in a little bit. And I will just move the lines and her arm together like this. Okay, and then I'm thinking for a second here. Just thinking about if there's anything else that I would like to change. It's like her arms feel a little bit short, but I did check to see where like her elbows fall, and it matches up with where I would expect. So, you know, down... Typically, you'd expect the elbows to be closer to the belly button, but because I made her torso kind of small, it gets closer to her hips, and I think that's fine. And then if I were to measure roughly where I think her wrist is, that's, you know, going back to the right spot, the tips of her fingers, down to the mid-thigh. If I just kind of do a sweeping circle, because... You know, if you think about the way your arm can move, I just waving it over here like you guys can actually see what I'm doing. But, If you think about how your arm moves, it is basically a circle. Just, you know, think of that one Leonardo da Vinci picture. Or is mapping out how arms move. That is indeed how they work. He was a smart guy. Okay. So, but yeah, when I kind of mapped it out, it went about to where I would expect. So I feel like if she lowered her arm here, this elbow, you know, it'd come down to like right about here. And I think, or a little bit higher than that. Right about here, and I think that's appropriate. And then I think her fingertips would come down to right about here, which I also think is appropriate. So we have a shoulder about this long. I'll double check just to make sure. I want to be a little bit thorough here, but yeah. Since I'm not getting the full length of, like, the shoulder or anything, I'm just kind of... You know what, I'm gonna put this higher. I do want to make sure that I have it right, because if I'm already making changes, then I might as well go out of my way to make sure I'm gonna be happy with them. So break out the hot pink. So shoulder to elbow is this long, and maybe I should... No, I don't want to do it on the side with nothing right now. I'm just gonna hide the armor layer just so I can see a little better. Okay, so maybe I do have it just a little short. Yeah, maybe just a little, just due to the proportions. Okay, let me make this line about the length that I want it to be then. So if I'm gonna go from like the center-ish of the shoulder here, down to maybe like right about here, how long should I make her arm? So maybe out to about there. Okay. We're just gonna do some reconstructive surgery here. It's fine. She will be better for it. Okay, I'm glad I double-checked. It is perhaps a little inconvenient for me, but I do think the picture will be better for it. Okay, so I'll take this part here. Just, you know, I'll take the whole thing, actually. We'll move everything together. So yeah, I'll just do it from the arms layer. We'll just slide it down a little bit. I don't think I want the big triangle to be much larger than that. So I will grab another selection just of the bottom part. Maybe not there. Being careful with how I do this, but... Okay, and then I want to pull it out just around the base of this fold here. And I am just going to have to kill, like, literally everything over on the right side here. But it's fine. It'll be okay. Alright. So there we go. I have torn apart her arm successfully. So let's see where I need to tear apart her forearm. So I'll plop this back to where I think it should be. So yeah, right about there seemed good. And I will make a new layer. Actually, no, I don't. No, I do. I do want a new one. Okay. I'm gonna say maybe I can use the same one, but I think it'll just be easier to do it like this. Down to about where I think her fingers should touch. Her hand, I think, is a perfectly fine size. If anything, it's kind of big. So I'm not gonna mess with the hand. And with the way arms work, this part should be slightly longer than this part, so this seems okay. And I will go ahead and start rotating this into place. Okay, and indeed, my conclusion is correct that if anything, my hand is just a little big, so I don't really need to adjust much there. Okay, good to know. I think I will adjust the cuff a little bit, but for the most part, I think we're good. So I'll go ahead, remove my guides. And it just goes to show that, indeed, my eyes were lying to me just a little bit. So I do think... Oh, right. I guess I'll take care of my basic murder for now. It'll just kill everything over here. Okay. She will just have one arm for the moment. I will just clear everything. Not sure how that's going to interact with my transparency mask here, but I think I'm just going to have to fix this later, so I'll just go ahead and get rid of it for now. Let's see. Just to make sure that nothing is here. Hello there, Liker. And yes, it is Kronii. Just fixing some things that were bothering me. I'm doing pretty okay. Just found some things that I didn't really like, so I figured that I'd go in and fix it. Arms are truly my drawing nemesis. They are the parts that I find hardest. Like, everybody always talks about hands, but nah, for whatever reason, I just have always found arms way harder. Yep, the arms specifically, not the hands. But it's okay, I think they came out looking pretty good, actually. I just made them a little bit short, so I'm figuring out how to chop all this up and get them the right length. And, you know, I don't think it'll be too bad at all. I really don't. Okay. So I'll just go connect this part again. The trim will look a little weird, but that's okay. I'll fix it. All will be well. Yeah. And some strange... I was gonna say strange, but that's ruder than I was intending, but different proportions from what I normally use elsewhere. Like, tiny, tiny torso. And I made hers a little bit longer on mine, but... Yes. It's something else. Alright, so now I think I can go in and start coloring everything. Yeah. I already have everything largely segmented the way that I like, so I should just be able to fill in the colors and then just fix the lines. So like here I need to make the angle change there a little bit, but that's fine. Kind of the same here. So this will change to be a little bit more like that. And there we go. I should probably hide the lines just so they don't completely throw me off. Especially in areas like this. Then I'll just plop all that in there, and I think that should fix everything. The main thing that I think threw me off was less the length, like there was a problem there too. but more that when I added the lines, you know, for the stained glass effect, that it just made her limbs look super duper skinny. So it went a bit further than I liked. So I just needed to make them a little bit less skinny. Like I wanted them to be skinny, but there are limits. There are limits. And I'm not going to bother smoothing out everything just yet. I have to be real careful to catch the right color, though, because I have all kinds of gradients around here. Ones that I will have to redraw in their entirety, but the gradients are easy, so it's okay. I'm just trying to remember how I drew this. Maybe I shouldn't have killed the other side yet, so I could use that as a reference. All right. Yes. It really was quite small. I mean, even here, I mean, I haven't filled in everything yet, but even here, her limbs are still pretty skinny here. But with the lines, it just... I don't know. I thought it was a little bit too much. Just a little. But I feel like the arms are pretty important to the pose here. So I want to make sure that they look good, even if they are my drawing nemesis. Okay, so I think that is most of this part. I want to straighten this just a bit here. No, not quite. It's not straight enough. This is the edge of the shape, so I do want to make sure that it is actually the way that I want it to be. I don't mind leaving the stuff in the middle messy because I'm just gonna be drawing lines soon and they will all be contained within that. It's fine. It makes more sense to adjust it once the lines are there, but this marks the edge. So I actually want to make sure that it is as smooth as I want the final picture to be. And I just, for whatever reason, cannot get this line straight. Life is hard. I don't know, maybe I should just cave and use the line tool. Let's do it. Okay, so from here to here. Okay. I'm gonna way overdo it, but I'm gonna mark the point that I want them to connect. And now, slightly thinner brush. Yeah, this should be enough. Connect here to here. Fill in the rest. There we go. I don't normally like doing that, especially for people's bodies, but like I'm deliberately trying to make this look inorganic, so it makes sense to do it like this. So it's fine. I feel like this is an exception to normal rules, and it will make my life just a little bit easier, so there we go. Down here, I think I will just do with a normal brush tool, though. And then this should come over like that, and it'll be great. Okay. now I can actually get into the lower part of her arm. Let this strain all the way through there. And here we go. Gotta connect this part now. And I was very careful about where I tore the arm apart. So hopefully I can keep most of the stuff I drew intact. Make my life a little bit easier there. I guess you were a gradient, so... Okay. I don't quite remember how I had this part done. This doesn't feel quite right. You know, like I said, maybe I shouldn't have killed the mirror so that this way I could reference it. But, mistakes were made, so this is what I got. And I just realized that I must have grabbed a slightly lighter color than what was actually used here. Terrifying. Alright. So just trying to interpret my colors. Yeah, I mean, I still think it's looking pretty good. I mean, I am definitely happy with it. Gonna make this light part a little thicker. I just don't want to change my colors. So I gotta be careful and make sure I get the right ones. And naturally, I will fill in the elbow here. Do not mind the hole. I just gotta figure something out real quick. So this will go all the way over to here. And then I will have this mid-tone kind of coming in like this. Yes. Looks good to me. And since I will be doing all the gradients, I am going to get rid of all of them. And I will, you know, fix it at the end. Okay. Connect over here. Just putting the pieces back together one by one. I'll handle the trim after. That can be broken for a little while longer. I just want to make sure I have the structure of everything else looking good. And then I can worry about those small details. Gotta do things in the right order. Otherwise you're making your life way harder than it needs to be. Okay, and then there is just a little bit of a lighter area around this blue trim. So I'm gonna have to get the trim looking right before I can really know where this part should go. So I will do that afterwards as well. Okay, so let's finish her forearm here and figure out how I want her elbow to connect. Yeah, I think that's like the last thing here. So the way I had it, I had another little fold here. And then this was a bigger fold, and then that should mean that her arm just connects like this. I'll go ahead and make this fold just a touch. Even in her official art, that fold is pretty big. So I'll just make it a touch bigger here. Hello there, Wayu. Welcome. Okay. So I do believe I have now reconstructed the arm. Everything has been put back together. Okay, let's go get that trim. I think I'll do that before the lines. Just so I can figure out how this part is supposed to actually look with all the new changes. This is Krita. It is the free and open source one. I like it a lot. What? I'd say just pick one. Honestly, I don't think it really matters which one you use, as long as it feels good. So you could try all three, or you could just pick one and roll with it. And odds are, you'll be fine. I think people put a little bit too much stock into them. Oh, nice. Yeah, digital is definitely different from drawing on paper. It is. I think it's easier to underestimate. Never used Medibang. Photoshop I consider a photo editing tool, not a drawing tool. I used it in the past and I like Krita more. Which is why I'm still using it. Okay, so it looks like this got a little beat up in the transition here. Go ahead and fix it too. So, I mean, if you want my choice, it would indeed be Krita. Yep, I personally just... Ah, I see. I see what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it really matters which one you pick. Just that you find one, if it feels good, you know, keep using it. And if it feels bad, maybe try a different one. But I just really do not actually think it makes that big of a difference which one you use. Alright. Well, I hope you have fun. And Krita's nice because it's free, so you can try it, and it won't cost a bunch. Mm-hmm. Alright. It's alright. I mean, digital will definitely take some getting used to. It's like it was especially that case for me, because I do not use screen tablets, and my first tablet, you know, not a screen tablet. So I had to learn how to draw where I wasn't looking. And that was surprisingly hard, a surprising shift. It doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but oh man. Yeah, no problem. Alright, have a nice dinner. Thanks for stopping by. I guess I'll just do it like this. I used a mask last time, but... well, I'm here. Doing it like this should be easy enough, and I do not know what this little thing sticking out there is, so I will check on that once I have this all done. There we go. So what are you? Are you just a little piece in the back that got cut off for some reason? That is exactly what you are. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good. Now I can start putting the lines back on. I'd say her arm looks healthier, but I don't think I'm actually really gonna know if that's true until I have everything drawn. Because last time I thought her arm looked fine. And then I put the lines on. And then suddenly, oh, it changed everything. Lines are slimming, apparently. Okay. So now I just kind of gotta tear apart a lot of this, which, you know, it's a little sad, but it is what it is. It's better than leaving things in a state that makes me sad, so I will just go and draw the thing. Okay, it looks like I missed in filling a little spot right there, so I'm gonna get that before it drives me insane. Perfect. What can I say? I'm easy to please. Okay, and then a lot of these little broken lines I will clean up here. It looks like a lot of them are still good though, so that's nice. That'll save me some work. Glad I was able to salvage a lot of it. And anything that I see that I don't quite like the look of, I'll just go and smooth it out again. Just fix it up, and then all will be well. And I do think that this is looking pretty all right so far, so I am happy. And man, I keep getting weird color illusions. My eyes do not know what's going on. Like, for some reason, the pixels here and the pixels here look completely different to me. Couldn't tell you why. But I do know that brains do that sometimes, and that's why they can't be trusted. That's why I went out of my way to make little neon-colored sticks to measure how long her arm actually was, rather than trusting my brain's judgment. And I am glad I went back and fixed it, honestly. I think it does look a little bit better at this length, and now the fingers don't overlap with the lines weirdly, and that makes me happy too. Okay, and then a lot of stuff through here has to change. I kind of want to do the top part before I get into the elbow area, but for some reason, my brain has decided to come here right now, so here we are. I'll just go ahead and get this part, I suppose. I think that's fine. Before I head back up, I don't want to connect this all the way to the other side just yet, because, I mean, look at that. That's a mess. I want that to be a little bit neater, so this seems like the perfect time to head back over here. And I think I'll just keep this line the way it is. I'll just color in this area with the dark color rather than adjusting the line. Pretty much everything here is an approximate. Except for, you know, right here. Right here I decided I want to change the angle a little bit, just so it feeds into the corner a little bit better. But yeah, everything here is an approximate, and that's why I didn't clean up all the color areas. Because I knew that once I had the lines on, odds were they'd be shifting around a little bit. And that's all right. I don't think the exact position is actually all that important. Just certain areas that I want to keep a certain way. Like here, I wanted to make sure that this line fed into the corner rather than kind of a little bit off to the side. All right. And I am not quite happy with how this is connecting, so I'm just going to have to slice up that line a little bit in order to get this corner nice and sharp. It was a little ambiguous, a little bit... how should I say it? A little bit thick and blobby, like it didn't quite know where it wanted to go. And I don't want lines like that. I want them to know exactly where they're going. So I had to eliminate all of the distractions there, all of the places making it a little bit unclear, and it was just a little bit easier to do that while erasing everything around there. So I'll just go and fix it after. It's all good. Once I get this the thickness that I want it to be. I think this might be a little thick here, but I think I got it good now. I'm just double checking, making sure that it's lined up with everything, but yeah, that seems pretty okay. As a compare to like the nearby ones on her chest. Yeah, I think that's good. So now that I'm mostly happy with it, I'm gonna clean up this last little bit here, and then I can reconnect the line. And look, they almost ended up being joined anyway, so I don't even have that much to do. Yay. And now it is much better. And just kind of like here, this line here, I want to make sure that this line connects with the corner. So I'll just change the angle of it slightly. And then I think all is well. And then I just want this to be a little bit sharper. A little bit straighter. I just think that these sharp straight lines are a little bit more stained glass-like. I mentioned it while I was drawing this the other day, but... or I guess I should say drawing the initial version before corrections, that I really, really liked the way that it looked, and I still do. I do. And while I'm still trying to feel my way through this neat stained glass style that I like a lot, I find it very important to take stock when I just find something that clicks and that I think looks really good and is a good sign of what I think the style should be. And that was this arm, and I'm still feeling it, honestly. So when I'm done here with just this whole thing, and in this case I mean the whole picture, not just the arm here, I will definitely take careful notes of what went right here, so that this way, when the time comes in the future to be drawing more stuff, I can have a better idea of what I thought actually worked. And I can do it again. When it comes to self-critique, the parts that went well are just as important, if not more so, than the parts that went poorly. You want to do it again. Okay. So I'm still just mostly focused on the outside for now. Just trying to get everything a fairly consistent width. Like this one is too thick, but this one is too thin. And I can already tell that I'm going to want to move this light part. I want it to be a little bit larger. So I'm just going to erase everything around there. And I will redraw it from scratch once I'm happier with where the colors are. But first, I would like to know how thick this line should be, so that this way I know where to put those colors. And once again, just making sure that the line is nice and straight through here. And that it works well with how I have the folds drawn. And just for example, I can already tell that I want this fold to change location. So I'll be doing it like this. And I know that I want this light spot to change location. So I'll do that like this. And just let them taper off together right over here. Much like how I was doing before. But now, this dark spot is connecting over at the corner here, which is what I wanted. So that was all. And then this fold will be going further across. But now I have a pretty good idea of where I want those things to live. So I'll be plopping them over there. Okay, then I want to make sure that these lines connect properly. I'm debating if I want to change this line. I think I do. I think I like where this is connecting a little better, kind of just right in the middle. But I will do that a little bit later. I want to make sure that all these other lines are good first before I start doing the inside ones. Just focusing very hard on the outside ones still. Just because I do feel like that they are what defines most of everything here. And I'll have to adjust the trim a bit there, but that's okay. Let's see. I kind of want to get that line looking right. So first, let me make sure that I have it going where I think it should. And now I can... Oops. Wrong layer. There we go. That's a bit better. Hello there, Blood Bullet. Welcome back. Okay. So let's see. I want to clear this right there. And put it back like right here. It's going pretty okay. I realized that I wasn't entirely happy with the arms, or rather, I thought they looked fantastic. I really liked them, but they were a bit too skinny. So I am fixing that now. It's like, I know it's Kronii, but there are limits to how skinny you should make an arm. I do not want her arms to be breaking from a stiff breeze. That would just be unfortunate, you know? Alright. Now I just need this to taper off a little bit more nicely. And keep its thickness while it's defining the edge, but not when it is not defining the edge. That's a tricky balance. But I think I got it right about here. There we go. I'll go ahead and just do the entirety of the trim right now, since I already know where it lives, so you know, just finish it off. And that should also help me with the other part. But, you know, even if it doesn't, it's fine. I have to get everything eventually, so... I can do it in whatever order I want. I'm just trying to make sure that the corners are matching the way that I want them to. And I do think that looks pretty okay. Alright, now I just gotta smooth out down there, but I think that's alright too. So let's go give the rest of the lines to this part. This part here sitting on her sleeve. Just trying to get them the same thickness as the ones down here. Paying very, very close attention to that. And then once I have that, it'll just be done. So that'll feel good. And then here should be pretty thick because this is the edge. But it's also kind of in the back, so I'm not making it quite as thick, if only because it would completely get rid of the blue there, and that would also be a little bit sad. But it's okay. That's how I'm handling the back sides of most things, so I think that looks pretty good. Alright. And now I can go back to just fixing up the parts here. So I don't like where this ended up. So what I'm actually gonna do is I am going to go back to my sleeve layer here and I'm gonna move it. I'm just gonna grab the whole dang thing here and move it over. I'll have to do some filling in of the sleeve again, but you know, that's fine. That's what I've been doing the whole time, and it's all good. And I will need to correct that line. But that's also okay. So now I will just fill in all of the little holes I just made. But it should look better in the long run, so that's what I'm counting on. And I'll get rid of... Wait, did I just... No, I didn't. Okay. I was like, wait, did I just draw all this on the wrong layer? But, no. All is well. I am feeling maybe a little bit absent-minded today. Okay, let's go ahead. I'll color in here. Make sure that there are no holes. And I will just be able to lock the layer once I am done with the lines here. That's the hope, anyway. And then I can color freely without worrying about going outside the lines. You know that's a little bit more literal here than it normally is for me, since I am drawing lines for myself to color inside. Feels weird. I don't know. The hands are pretty easy. They're just over there doing hand things. I don't find hands that bad. Arms are my true art nemesis. They are legitimately the part of the body I find hardest to draw. I don't know, something about their tubular nature just gets to me. Okay, I'm just gonna redraw this entire line, I think. But by the way, I absolutely love how these arms came out. I'm just redrawing parts of them because I had her arms a little bit too thin. So I had to kind of fix that. But in terms of how it was shaded, oh yeah, that was on point. I really, really like it. And I will definitely be using it as a reference for what to do next time I draw in this style. Because today, it just worked. There. Okay, now what's going on here with you? Because the lines were not working there. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Oh, that would explain it. There we go. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna scroll down a little bit so I stop doing that. There. Because that's like the third time that's happened in the last 10 minutes, so that is... that is a sign that perhaps I should do something about it. Okay, this is another one where I think I'm just gonna redraw most of the line there. You know, even from up here, I want to change the angle of this line slightly. It's okay, I'll get there. That is exactly what I wanted, though, so... There we go. Just gotta clean up some of the excess around there. And this one, I want to go all the way to the corner. So that does mean it looks like I have to change the angle a little bit again. Might as well clean up the little nub there from earlier. Okay. Let's get it this time. Yeah, that's good. And this one, I want to go to the corner of the fold. There. Okay. And that should all look pretty good once I color it all in properly. But I want to finish off just the lines themselves. This one, I do want to go all the way to the edge. But this one, I don't. This one will stop here. Just a few left. It all goes by surprisingly quickly once I get going. So I like that too. Okay, this line, I think I'm just going to erase everything up there. This is still lining up, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. But I want to make sure it all connects to the right place. Well, I hope that doesn't make you hungry. But don't worry, hands are just one of those things that once you practice them and get a real good feel for how all the shapes work, that they become a lot easier. Oh, excellent. Good. So you won't get distracted by radishes. You know, I don't think I've ever eaten a radish. Now that I think about it. Okay, there's a shenanigan. Okay, so there's a hole here. I better go fill that in. There we go. Okay, now I should actually be able to draw this line. Because it was like suddenly disappearing and I was like, huh, what is going on here? Okay. And I'm not quite happy with how this is all lining up together. So I'm gonna hide the trim for just a moment here. And I want these to connect at the corner. There we go. And as such, I do believe I will have to change the angle of this. That's okay, I can do that. Where are you, trim layer? There you are. So that means that my fold for this should be happening here, as opposed to here. Welcome back, Wayu. So I will adjust accordingly. So I do believe that means the angle will go a little bit more like... I should probably hide the lines. Because they will definitely throw me off while I'm fixing my angles here. But I will get those in there. So I'll let it fold down like this, and then down. I am 14 billion years old. I'm rounding, because, you know, after you've had, like, 500 or 600 birthdays, you kind of stop caring, you know? Well, it's fine. Yes, I'm as old as the universe. So yes, much older than the Earth. And I can tell you, cakes are delicious, so I don't mind. It's great being able to have lots of cake. Well, I think there's lots of reasons to live, but, you know, cake is one of them. So I'll accept it. There, and I do believe that is a much better shape for the trim. So I will go ahead and fix those lines now. And now everything is lining up in the corners the way they should. So I am pleased. All right. So let's get these lines the correct thickness. Should be about as thick as this one. Whereas this guy here should be about as thick as this one, I think. So I will fix that. All right, have fun. I'll definitely watch what interests you. And I will be here live at this time pretty much every day. I won't be here Thursday, but that's unusual. So, normally I am here every day. Because I like drawing for the internet. It is great. Okay. There we go, and I think that's better. So now I'm gonna get right back to drawing the rest of the lines here. Okay. So this guy, it needs to follow the shape of the trim, which has moved. So there we go. I gotta make sure that they all move together. These lines should be relatively parallel. It's fine if it's not exact. It is fine if it is not exact. But I do want to get close. And there we go. So that's where this shadow will end up going. And as such, I will change a little bit about it and kind of let it follow the shape of that part of the sleeve as well. So you can see it'll be just a little bit different. There, and now it has matched up with the edge, and I think that was the last one, actually. Looks like I got a little bit of residue over here. So I will be kind of fixing this and making sure that everything is just the way I want it. And then I can go in and color things again. This time all I have to do is color in the lines, so that is very convenient. And what even are you? Are you just a hole? Do I have a little tiny hole to be filling in here? I do. Okay. I thought it was like excess line, but it was not. Oh, why'd you put a bunch of chocolate in your refrigerator if you're on a diet? That seems like a rather poor choice. Ah, I see. You know, it sounds like an excellent time to go give them to a friend who you know is not on a diet and say, here, have some chocolate. I'm a good friend. Or perhaps your mom or something. Okay. Yeah, I like this. I still think this looks really, really good. So I'm very happy. Ah, well, it's good to be friends with yourself. I'm glad to hear you feel that way. All right. So now that I've done all the hard parts, I get to do the easy part of just color by number. If I didn't hate the way the fill tool worked 90% of the time, I could just use that, but I don't know, man. It always seems to have just like really jagged edges, and this has been true of pretty much every program I've ever tried. I don't know how people can use the fill tool most of the time. Maybe just something about how the way I draw stuff. Or maybe there's some magical calibration that I have to do in order to make it work properly. But I certainly never figured it out. So I just don't. Most of the time. There are occasions where I've been able to get it to work. But I would say that they are closer to occasions than a regular recurrence. Okay, looks like I was a little bit inconsistent in the line width here. So I would like to fix that. I think I want it to be a little bit thinner right there. There we go. That's back to my regularly scheduled relaxing coloring. Yeah, and it's already almost done. Then I can go back and do silly things like her weird headpiece and perhaps her chest. But we'll see whether or not I want to finish off her torso before I go back and turn her into a helicopter or something. Not currently. I have been thinking of multi-streaming, but there are shenanigans, and Twitch being inconsistent with its enforcement makes me scared unless I don't know, get a better understanding of what to do. And the drawing is going very well today. I just decided her arms were just a tad too skinny, so I just finished kinda fixing them. I still might multi-stream. I might look back into that. It seems like they're not being as hardcore about, like, getting mad when people have multiple chats on screen at once. So I might be able to do that. It might be okay, and I just realized this is the wrong color. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, good. So, I still might look into it. It does seem like there's enough people out there doing it on, you know, the side of people that actually make money and might have, be a little bit worried about these things, that I might be able to do it now. Alright, a gradient time. I do not have the layer locked. Oh, shoot. Okay, undoing everything. Lock the layer. Now gradient time. I do not want any haze out getting in my way later. So I will do something nice for my future self and just do it again. Yeah, for the people that would rather watch on Twitch, I'm currently not streaming there, but I do have an account, and if I start, well, there you go. You can follow me there if you want. And I'll be sure to announce if I decide to start streaming on Twitch too. It will never be Twitch alone. It'll always be multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I'm not leaving YouTube, and I don't think I ever will. I do not. No plans to stream to Kick for now. Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind either way. I really don't mind if people just want me to be nice background music. I am honored to be nice background music. And I, too, mostly like to watch streams as background music, and, like, for co-working stuff, I just have them up in the background while I'm drawing off stream, for example, or otherwise doing something else where I kind of want a little bit of background noise. So I do not mind being used the same way. If you guys ever want to chat, I'm certainly here, and I'm always happy when people come to talk. But if you don't, and you just want to listen to me blab about, you know, whatever, you know, I'm happy with that too. I think that there's many ways to enjoy live streams. And I don't think people should feel bad about enjoying them in the way that suits them best. Well, it is a very nice BGM. Huh. I didn't copy. Oh, I must have accidentally done it vertically. Whoops. Alright, so here I'm just copying everything over to the other side now. And so I just duplicate the layer, mirror it, and merge it back down. And I'll be doing that for a little bit because... oh boy, are there a ton of layers I need to fix. Oh, I accidentally grouped it instead of mirroring it. Okay. There are quite a few here, but it's all good. I'll get them over one by one. I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut for mirroring horizontally, but I don't know what it is, so here we are. I already did the sleeves, cuff time. Here we go. Okay, I think this is the last one. There we go. She now has 2 arms again, and they are not ultra thin. Just, you know, appropriately thin. Aw, yeah, no problem. I like some of your paintings. They're interesting. Definitely a bit strange, but I like it. Weird stuff is cool. Yeah, and I liked the little bunny ones that you've been doing today. Still very much in your strange, very interesting style, but oddly adorable. Okay. So just thinking about which part I want to do next. And yeah, I think I'll get started on the stuff behind her head here. So, time to go to the bottom. I'll start with the veil thingy. I'll go ahead and hide the top one just so I can make sure that the bottom one is all looking the way I want it to. No, we're not using the airbrush here. I don't even know how that happened. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Why do I have a random scribble over there? I must have accidentally mirrored something vertically. Sure did. Okay. Let me make sure that there aren't any other random scribbles from messing up my mirroring. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. I still have to debate how... I've been debating on how I want to handle this and whether or not I just want it all to be dark. This is what I would normally do, but I'm not actually sure if I like it. I'm just thinking about it. I think it works, though. Okay. And so what I think I'll do then, if I'm going to do it like that, I'm going to plop in some folds. And we'll... I don't know, just have another little shape in there to make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I think that should be enough to make it a little bit more interesting. And this one, I think I will keep mostly white. Just because it's not rubbing up against her shoulders here. That was the main thing main reason I darkened this one. Was it was right up against something else that was white. And man, that would just look a little bit weird. I don't know, do I want another fold in here? Sure. Looks good to me. And I think I will just line these together. I think that makes sense here, since it is kind of all one object. Okay, so time to see how much putting thick lines on here messes with me. I'm going to invert the colors so that this way I actually know where those lines live. It's easier to see them. And I'm going to make them a little bit thinner than the lines in the hair, even on the outside. Basically, the way I've been doing things here, and I think it's been working, is everything on the edge gets pretty thick lines, but the things that are further in the background get slightly thinner lines than the things in the foreground. So the fact that this is behind her head, I want it to be thinner than here, but still pretty thick. There we go. So I'll just carefully go over all these little bumps, and I see a small hole here, so fill that in too. And carry on. Okay. So this is where it transitions to the bottom one here. I will align that in just a sec. Okay, and that is the outer edge, so let's define the outer edge here. This is, I want it to be thick, but not quite as thick as this line. So it'll be just a little bit thinner. And I want the thick line lining the very edge to kind of taper off into that. So that's actually a bad spot for it, so let's move that to be a little bit better here. There we go. And then I will just let this line that is super thick through there get a little bit thinner as it goes up. I feel like my nose, for whatever reason, just wanting to choke me with mucus, is striking back with a vengeance. Ah. I want to finish this before I go take care of that, but it is hard to talk when there is stuff blocking your nasal passages and trying to lean into, go into your throat. Life is hard, man. Bodies are the worst. I wish it would stop. Unfortunately. Okay. But I want to go ahead and finish this off before I go do that. It's almost done. Alright, one line. Two line. That one's too thick. Let's try again. There we go. I want to keep the ones in the background here really, really thin and delicate and soft. There we go. So I think that's all the lines. Now I just gotta color. Because I was not exact in how I did things here, and I see that I missed some spots. I should go fix that while I see them, because otherwise I will forget. Huh, what are you then? Are you holes? Sure are. Okay. There we go. Now, what are you? Line residue? Yep. Okay. Oh, there we go. Ah, the joy of missing some stuff. It's all good. Back to coloring. But I mean, if I see problems, I should fix it when I see it, so. That's worth doing, I think. And here, I got a couple of problems. I'm gonna fix that too. Just fixing all the little things while I'm over here. Okay, there we go. I was not very neat when coloring a lot of these things, huh? All these things happen. There. Okay, so now I can fix the colors. I probably missed some parts. It's fine. See, all is well. It's easy to fix. And there we go. That is that part. And these have the holes in them, right? Yeah, so I should draw those little triangular parts. I should also fill in the colors right here. There we go. So there's going to be little triangular parts here. Little tiny holes. So I will go draw those now. And this is where I am eternally grateful for the mirror tool. Because I do not have to draw just every tiny thing. I only have to draw half of it. At least in places where it's completely symmetrical, like here. Okay, and I will want to line those. Ah, well that's unfortunate. Being sick sucks. Like I said, buddies are the worst. They should learn to be better. Okay, and so that's all the little triangle bits. Let's go ahead and put the lines around them. And I will make them nice and thick too. Since this is technically the outside. All right. And there weren't that many, so not too bad at all. And there we go. I do believe that that is a finished weird cloth veil thing. And now my nose still trying to kill me. I'm not gonna let it. So I'm gonna go be right back. I gotta get this out so I can actually talk. So be right back in just a few minutes. Give me just a moment. Alright. I can talk again. I'm not all nasally. Okay. So now it is time to deal with this thing. I'm still not quite sure what to make of it. Thank you. Yeah, it's just a big circle. Okay. So I think what I've got for the shape there is fine. I don't really want to make it thinner, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna find the circle thing here, and I'm gonna put a white stroke around it. Think that'll be easier than doing any crazy shenanigans with lines. So here we go. Probably not 21 pixels. That might be a little... although, no, that's actually pretty dang close to what it should be, huh? I forget how big the canvas is sometimes. Okay. So, there. I probably don't have to do that much more, but I think I will put a little bit of shadow just at the bottom here. Just 'cause. It's fine. I think I want the line to be shaped like this, so... I'm just drawing this one directly on the layer. Actually, I can't do that. What am I talking about? I can't draw directly on the layer. I do have to make a line. I'll need it later, so this is fine. But basically, I'm not convinced that I'm using the right colors for the lines here. So I get the feeling that I will be changing them extensively later. So I definitely cannot leave lines on the same layer as drawing, because otherwise I will have a bad time when it comes time to change the colors of the lines. This I think I will leave as is. Actually, I don't like how high that is. I changed my mind. I want it lower. Okay. There. Okay. Yes, I think that works. Now then, the real silliness is gonna come with all these hands coming out here. How do I make this look impressive and not silly? Right now I'm looking at the proportions here, and I think I made all of these a little bit too thin. I know I adjusted the small hand here, but I still think it is a little bit too thin. So I'm going to fix that. Because I don't know, that's got some thickness to it. Maybe not that much, but a little. What I had. This might be one where I sit on it for a little bit before I render things out, just to make sure that I am happy with my relative proportion. Because once I render it, if I decide, oh shoot, that's too thin, I'm gonna be sad. You know, kind of like I was when I had to adjust the entire arm here. But so I might go work on something else for a little bit while I just wait and make sure it's good. But I think that this works now. I think it's good. So I'll go adjust the long hand as well. And then I guess it's time to do the chest. And don't mind Krita freaking out. It does that sometimes. Don't worry about it. It's just a visual problem, so all is well. You get used to it. Okay. That might be a little bit too big. Yeah, I think that's a little bit too big. Like what I had before is definitely too small, but I think that was a little bit too big. These little pipes are pretty small, so... Let's see here. What's the angle on this? I want to make sure I get the angle relatively close here. It's a little sharper. And then I want to make sure it sits on the center part of the headpiece correctly. And then also that it doesn't look weird on the border there. Okay, that should be good. And let's see, I do think that the second hand is also a little bit thin, so I will adjust him too. I don't really know how to adjust the thickness via transform tools without just doing this, but it's fine. It's weird, but it's fine. And I didn't feel like I was that off with this one, so it didn't need as much fixing, which is nice. Alright, once again, just trying to follow that angle that is right here. Kinda looking at the angles between all these things now. Now that I got enough. And there. Okay, so I'm gonna sit on that for a little bit just to make sure that I do like the length and width of the hands there. And I guess I will go work on the chest here. That is nice and far away from the weird headpiece, so I should just be able to get that. And then I think after I do the skirt, that'll be time when I finally add the details to all the stuff there too. Okay. What do things look like there? He went with a much softer look than what I think I'm gonna go for, so... I think I can mostly just kind of clean up what I already have here. And I think that this will be one area that will benefit greatly from gradation. So I think what I actually want in there is a lighter color. Do I have a light skin tone without using the face? I don't. Okay. Reason I just wanted a light skin tone elsewhere. Oh no, I do. It's in her leg. But yeah, I wanted the light skin tone elsewhere because I have some blush on her cheeks and stuff. So that's a good way to make my skin tone slightly contaminated with pink. And I'd rather avoid that. I want to get an accurate color. Do I like the dark color there? Or would it perhaps look better... Like, yes, there has to be the dark color in the cleavage. Most definitely. Probably a little bit at the bottom too, but I think for the rest, it would actually look better with this color and with this kind of shading. Yes, I am completely correct. I think even down here. Yeah, I'll just add a gradient there. This side, I think I'll still keep dark. But here, yes, this looks better. No, that doesn't do that. What am I talking about? It's gonna go all the way up. The top of her chest is up here, not down here. Look, my anatomy may not be the best, but I know that much. And I think I want to keep the shadows on this side fairly thin until it kind of starts rolling around to the bottom here. There we go. Okay. I think that's about what I want. I want to check the center there. I need to hide this line for a second. There we are. Now I can see what I'm doing. But I have to detail the very center part now. So having the line there, it was slightly in the way. I know roughly where it is, and that's all I really need to do what I gotta do here. Actually, I don't think I want additional shadow there. I think I just want to go straight into the light color. And I'm not used to making them quite this square, but I have to remember this is like only the lower half. So I think that this is accurate. Maybe a little bit thicker in this area. The line there. I think that might look good, actually. Especially since I do have to put lines on this eventually. Okay, I think that works. It should look pretty good with some gradients. I guess I should think about putting some gradients on this too. I'll think about it. One thing at a time here. Okay. So I think I'll start with the darkest part here. I don't want any of these lines to be very thick at all. This is very much interior lines here. So they will be nice and delicate. Yeah, nice and soft and delicate. And I will probably put a little bit of redness on there again, and definitely gradation. Gradation, I think, is actually going to just completely make it. So for that, I want to take the dark color, and I'll just plop it at the bottom here. And then I take the mid-tone and plop it here. And just adjust until I'm happy, and then I will have to color the center line again because it got a little bit of lightness into it. And I don't want that there. I want that to be super dark. Okay. Alright, and I will go ahead and put a little highlight on there too. Just like, I don't know, right here, I guess. Yeah, looks good to me. Okay. I'm still not quite ready to tackle the hands up there. I want to make sure that I do have them proportionate, so I want to look away just a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the skirt. the skirt is asymmetrical, so I actually need to turn off my symmetry tool here. Before I do that, I want to put the line back so I can see it. There we go. Okay. So this will also kind of define the outer thigh there. This is very, very tight through here. And at some point, I will make all of that look nice. And in fact, I probably want to straighten it out a little bit. Where's my body layer again? Yeah, I think I want to straighten this out just a little bit, so this way I know where to be putting the edge of the skirt there. Just because, you know, it is that tight. And I just think I'll have a hard time placing it until I actually know where it's all living. I see. Well, welcome back. Just a smoothing out the hip and thigh area here, so that this way I can draw the skirt. In fact, I think I'm gonna hide the sock here right now, just to make sure that I can get this line connected properly. That's all good. Like I said, I do not mind being used as background music. I am happy to be background music. As far as I'm concerned, as long as your tab is open, you are here. I always appreciate it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna firmly scooch over here because I want to hide the skirt for a bit, and I just want to make sure that this is going up into her hips properly. Or I guess I should say her waist. And I don't want YouTube to get mad. So we're just going to be sitting over here, being very careful. But there we go. I think that should be good. And now I should know exactly where to define the edge of the skirt here. I think I'm gonna hide sock again real quick. Look, it's hard when I can only use a tiny corner of my screen. Okay. Yeah, I know. These places are weird. My art is like super safe for work, but sometimes I just, you know, I gotta make sure things are right, and that means kind of knowing what's under. So, life is hard, but I do try to be careful. Alright, but there we go. Now I can define the edge of the skirt here. Get it, like, right up next to everything here. Well, there's a reason I stream on YouTube. Like I said, I was thinking about multi-streaming, but I haven't yet. Still might, but man, it just seems like a nightmare sometimes. I'm pretty sure my internet can handle it, and I think I have all the tools and stuff. I know roughly how to do things. What made me stop was just that it had a bunch of rules for how to handle putting the chat on screen. And I kind of didn't want to deal with it, and trying to figure out how to combine chats, or, you know, failing that, if they'd get mad if I had YouTube chat on screen at all. It's pain, but now there's enough, like, actual VTuber corpos doing it that I feel pretty okay doing it myself, so maybe I'll look into it again. Probably not anytime soon, though, because Inktober owns my soul right now, and then next month I'm gonna do a NaNoWriMo, so then my attempts to write like 2,000 words a day, that will probably be eating a lot of my creative energy as well. But oh man, do I look forward to doing it. I am hoping that I will be able to get the first draft of my comic done. I am hopeful. I don't know what that is. It is not sock residue. Oh no, it is sock residue. Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, I am here. I want to make stuff happen. Like, last year was interesting. Last year was the year I made the stream happen. So, I learned how to draw and rig models. Because I had never done it before. And here I am. So now I'm here trying to make some other stuff happen. So we'll see what 2026 has for me. I'm excited. Gonna do all the things. And let me see, how much space do I have here? Okay, I got a little bit of space just because there's a weird doily on her thigh. It's probably the only reason her skirt isn't like skin tight here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and draw the weird doily on her thigh just so I know roughly how thick that skirt should be. Where are the socks? Back shoes, there's the sock. Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and draw the weird doily on her thigh there. Let's see. So it wraps around kind of like this. I'll probably want most of this to be shadow color, but I'll just use this color for now. It's fine. I can make it any color I want as I please. Alright, let's get this on there. It doesn't have to be clean right now. I just want to make sure that it is in place. I'd go as far as to say I shouldn't be trying to make it clean yet. Okay. Gonna reduce the opacity, make sure that it is sitting on the leg. And fanning out. About how long are you? Okay, I think what I've got here is probably fine. Now I'll just let it wrap. And I'll draw the little frilly bits, I guess. At least kind of rough them in. Just to make sure that everything looks right. And I'll be more particular about the shapes later. That is sufficient for now. That sure is a leg doily. Okay. Okay, so the skirt hangs out just a little bit further than this guy. Just doing a last check to make sure that I am happy with everything, but there we go. I think that that is good. Okay. So now I know exactly how wide this skirt should be, and I can go back to smoothing out this edge. It is just a little bit wider than this. So to about there. Yeah, it doesn't go out quite as far as the edge there, so I think that is correct. Looks good to me. Alright. So I'll just remove the last few blobs that I see. And I gotta get the bottom. Just smooth it on out. Man, every time I zoom out, I'm just like, I really, really look forward to drawing this background. It is not yet time, but I am excited. This is actually a case where I really, really got to make sure that the character looks good before I do too much in the background. Just because how I shade her is going to define how I shade much of the background. So much of it. And I want to make sure that I like the way she looks stylistically before I start doing too much in the background, so that this way I can copy over what I did stylistically into the background, and they will match. Instead of looking too different or leaving me in a state where I'm just like, well, shoot, now I gotta redo everything so this way that it doesn't look like two different pictures smashed together. So, yes, actually quite important that I fully finish Kronii first. A lot of the time I actually don't do it like that. I kind of work on them together. But in this case, I definitely have enough of the background defined before I go in and finish it off. But nonetheless, I am looking forward to it. Gonna be a good time. Yeah, same here. It's gonna be great. I love stained glass. It's so pretty. I just had to get enough down for vibes. And vibes nailed, so I was able to go finish her off, and then I can worry about the details. Okay, that sure is a skirt. Let's do some shadows. How do I want to handle the shadows here? I guess I'll put a few on the side here. And how does this thing actually work? Like, is this part of this, or is it like sitting on top? Okay, it's sitting on top. These are two different colors. So definitely sitting on top. And it also looks like there's a little bit of trim around the bottom. Okay, so there should definitely be a line here. I'll put a little bit of shadow just under the shirt here. Actually, that I can make symmetrical, so I will. It's fine, they're always VODs. If you're really curious, and when the picture is done, I always post it like everywhere, so you will at least be able to see it. It's okay, sleep is important too. Better make this just a little bit thicker through here. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like it. Okay. Now I can get into the asymmetrical parts. So I will run it down the side here. Okay, now how do I want to define the skirt folding here? Like, this isn't bad. But I think I can make it look a little bit better. Hey, no complaints here. I like it when people show up. It's definitely more fun for me. I just don't want people to feel bad if they can't make it for whatever reason, too. So, there you go. When it comes down to it, I think that, you know, these kinds of things should be fun. Nothing to stress out about. Okay, I think that shape is pretty good. And then I do like the shadow that I have running down here, kind of at the edge there. And this keeps throwing me off, so I'm actually going to fix the shadow on the sock here real quick, just because it needs to be closer. It's supposed to be like rubbing right up against it. Like the leg is literally pushing it forward, and with the way that I had the shadow that thick, like it's probably going to be thicker than this, but this is fine for now. With the way the shadow was that thick, I could only see it as the skirt being far away, and that was very much not what I was going for. So I needed to adjust that. Just so that this way I could actually draw the rest of this properly. Because when shadows get bigger like that, it means that it is farther away from the thing casting the shadow. It's like, just... if you put your hand against a wall or something, or even against your other finger, you'll notice that it's really, really close, really thin, really, really concentrated, very, very hard. But if you pull your hand away, the shadow will start spreading out, it'll get further away, it'll appear a little bit larger. And it'll also get a lot softer. So just interesting stuff about shadows. Shadows are neat. They do some neat things. Now I'm just feeling out the folds here. As always with me, I feel it rather than think it, so I just kind of have to see them in order to make sure that I like them. I don't know if I like this one. I do think that I want this to go a little bit more this way, though. So maybe that's what I was thinking of when I drew that. I don't think this is quite right. I'm gonna try again. So I think without the fold, it would be like this. So presumably with it, it would be a little bit more like this. All right. Have fun. I don't really like how these are almost like the same length. So that tells me that maybe I should shorten this one. Make it a little bit more like that. Yeah, maybe have this one going a little bit more this way. Cut into it like this. Like, I can tell there needs to be something here. I'm just not quite sure how it should look yet. So I am just kind of trying some shapes, seeing how it works out, and iterating accordingly. Sometimes you just gotta try things. Always try. Still not working for me. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't go as hard on the folds then. I guess I don't have to. Like, it's fine. I could just do a small one. Or even none at all, probably. I don't know. What does none at all look like? Because I'm still not feeling it. I'm still not. Let's see, so maybe instead of what I was doing before, I'm gonna turn on symmetry again for a second while I just redefine everything on the cast shadow from the shirt here. Guess I didn't need to. So maybe instead what I should be doing is a fold a little bit more like this. I'm just thinking about it a little before I start drawing it, but I don't know, maybe something like that will work better. I don't know if I like that one. I like it on this side. I think it worked really well on this side. But what about over here? It needs something, I just don't know what. Art is hard. It is. But it's okay. I think that actually worked decently well. Yeah, I think I like this part being fairly straight like that. And then that can curve like this, and... I mean, it looks like it's kind of being sucked in between her legs, but I think that's okay, actually. I don't know, that's a little bit much, isn't it? Yeah, I don't quite like it. Like, I want the little fold there. I like this one. I like what I did over there. But I don't quite like the way it looks like the skirt is being just pulled in between her legs. Don't quite like that. I'm just trying to think about how it's being pulled by her legs now. Just really, really thinking about it. Really, really thinking about it. I think I'm closer. Like, it's working. Let's see, if I were to draw... I don't know, just... wavy skirt. The skirt isn't wavy, so it'd be more like this. And then... everything is being pulled like to one spot. But to be fair, this is an anime dress, so that's not actually what's happening. Because like there's like no folds here. I see like a little bit like right here, but that's about it really. So I guess, you know, that's probably fine. And then I can just do a little bit of gradation on the sides there. Okay, I think that should work. I'll just use the same color as the sleeves. Let's see how this looks with lines. That might also fix some of my issues. Alright, let's get those on there. At the very least, I know that the shape of the skirt is the way I want it. So, this should be safe. And welcome back. Welcome back, Blood Bullet. Talking is hard. Okay. Let's see, is that the right width? I think it is. Yeah, probably a little thick right here, but otherwise, yes. All is well. Let's just pull this all the way across. There we go. I can tell that I'm not really being super consistent in my width, so I'll have to go back over it, but that's okay. I can do that. Okay. Let's go be a little bit more consistent in the width now. I cannot draw straight lines for some reason. My body has just not been cooperating with me lately. It's very rude. Maybe just getting my revenge for how much I make fun of it and call bodies the worst. But look, I'm nice to it in like every other way, so I don't know why it's mad at me. No sense of humor, I swear. Okay, so that should be good. Look, lines are hard. This is why I don't line art. I mean, usually. I guess it's different when I decide to go do stained glass related things, but stained glass is nice, so I guess it's worth it. Okay, just trying to get this all a consistent width all the way across. It's mostly there, it just needs a little bit of help. Just needs a little bit more help. And then I think that it should all be good. And then I think after this, I have looked away long enough that I'm gonna go look back at her weird time headpiece. And I think I should still be able to get that done today, so that's pretty awesome. that'll be like her entire upper body finished. And you know, with this, I actually put a pretty decent dent in her lower body here. Although I guess to be fair, her lower body is like all leg, and I haven't even started the legs yet, so... So maybe I shouldn't celebrate too much yet. But still, having her upper body done is nice. And to be fair, I think her legs are going to be pretty easy to do, since they are just sock. Don't have to do a bunch of little details or anything. It's all pretty straightforward. Alright, let's get this all the same width. Oops. Thought I had my pen raised, but my tablet disagreed. So, there we go. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good, so that should be fine. I'm still gonna hold off on putting like the little pinstripes and stuff on until a little bit later. But this is fine for now. So that means that this is now the new corner, so that will be where the dark spot goes. I think I actually want this line to be a little bit thicker than the rest, because this is like defining the top part of the skirt, as opposed to a shadow and a small light change. So I will make that a little thicker. The line from the shadow that it makes, I will keep thin though. Maybe not that thin. Okay, that should be pretty good. And then I think that this level of thickness is fine for that shadow there. And now I just draw the line from the shadow from the shirt. Actually, I can make this symmetrical. Or no, I can't, because it's not on that side. Okay. Never mind. I'm just saying silly things. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all of this right now. And I am not following what I drew very closely at all, but that's okay. This had to change because the lines moved where this would be overlapping it too much. Actually, I'm gonna keep that line up there, but I will get rid of this one. And this one. There we go. That should be pretty good. Okay. Time to get this shadow here. I want to be very particular about how I get this. Okay. And then the point where it kind of comes out, just right like this. Okay, now I clean up the excess lines, and then I will go to the other side. Okay. I actually kind of like how uneven that is, so I'm going to keep it and even exaggerate it a little bit more. That is too thick. There we go. Okay. So that should do it for the lines here. I just gotta get rid of a little bit of excess and make sure that they are all connecting nicely. And make sure that everything looks the way that I want it to look. And then I can go back and do my basic color by numbers and just fill in all the colors properly. Okay, here we go. Color by numbers time. I think this is going to look really good once I get some gradients on it. I am happy. Let's see, I got a little tiny line thing hanging out there. Let's push it back. There we go. As always, I'll just correct problems as I find them. Okay. Yeah, I think I like this. I think this is working. And I think all the shapes are working together pretty well now, so... It took me a couple of tries, but I think I found the answer. And I'm happy now. Just goes to show that it's worth trying a few different ideas if the first one isn't quite to your taste. I don't always get things right on my first try either. In fact, I'd say it's more often than not it takes me a couple tries to get everything right. Actually, I think that's going to be kind of important later, because I already don't really know if I like the color of a lot of these lines. I kind of like the ones on the black here, the gold ones. I think those look pretty okay, but for a lot of other places, I'm just like, I don't know, man. So I already know that I'm going to have to go back in the end and change that, so that's going to be another thing that I don't think I quite got right the first time. But this looks pretty good. I think I can be happy with that. Alright, let's go check on... let's go check on this. Let's make Kronii a proper helicopter. Okay. Just double checking the width here, and I think we're good. I think I'm happy. So I'm gonna do what I did with the halo part. I'll first need to find where these are. Oh yeah, she's a wonderful helicopter. I bet she can fly real fast. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the strokes that I have here, and I will plop them down on all of these. I'm gonna change the color on this one, but the rest are fine. I don't know what color I want you to be. was gonna say about the same color as the brooch, but I don't know if I like the color on the brooch either. So, you know, life is just hard sometimes. I'll go ahead and use that for now. It's probably better than just, oh, are you actually solid white on there too? Oh god, no wonder I don't like it. Not quite solid white, but pretty dang close it looks like. Let me make sure I got the right one. Well, there you go. This is why I keep saying I gotta change the colors, but this is fine for now. I think I want the one on this one to be a little bit thinner as well. Just a little. That's good. Okay. Alright, so I've at least got that part done-ish. So I will go perfect the shape of the edge here. I want them to be a little bit more squared off. And I am going to have to paint over that stroke at some point. I don't like how round the corners are here. So I'll make another layer for that, but this should still save me some grief when it comes to just, I don't know, getting it started. So I don't have to draw perfectly smooth lines all the way around. And here I'm just smoothing out the edges a bit from all the transforming that I did on them. They got a little bit blurry. And I don't like my lines a little bit blurry, so I'm gonna fix that. Okay, so that should be good there. And now I think it is... Actually, I want to do one thing before I get back into this, and I realize I didn't put the gradients on the skirt, even though I was kind of excited about doing them. Silly me. Let's do that. 'Cause I think it'll make it really look fantastic. I just want a little bit of dark here, and a little bit of light over here. And there we go. That was all I wanted to do. Nice and easy, but I think I made it look a lot better. Alright. And I do think I will just start with these two white ones before I move on to the gold one. Because why not? Okay, off to the line layer. I think I will kind of round these, or square these off real quick. And then I want to draw the lines running down all these tubes. Just get all that done right now. And I will use the line tool for that, because anything else would be utter hell. That's a place with a long straight line. I'm just like, oh god, no thank you. Please, please no. So, okay, that's why we have the line tool, to do this kind of thing for us. I don't have to. How thick do I want you to be? I think I want them to be a little on the thicker side. Probably on like the same tier as this one, so I'm gonna use this as kinda my template for figuring out how thick this line should be. Looks like right around 6. Okay. God, I am not gonna be consistent with this at all, am I? I'll do my best. Yeah, I don't like it there. I kind of need to be able to see the whole thing, but the thing is that if I do that, I'm not going to put the line in the right spot. Yeah, see, it's a little bit off. Okay, I need to be like this zoomed in order to properly see the corner. Are you in a good spot? Yeah, you're in a good spot. So, I'll have to trust my instinct. What is straight? What is parallel? Hopefully my instinct is good. I think it's close enough. Okay. Now the other one. And I will erase the bits over the halo. But first, I just gotta get these down. Yeah, I think that should be okay. I'm a little off, but I don't think it's super noticeable, so I'm gonna call it good. And pretend like nothing's wrong. So, let's go back to the layer itself. And now I can add my shadows. I do think I want a few. Just because otherwise this is super monotonous and a little bit dull. I'll go ahead and add a little bit around her hair. And back to the line layer here. I just realized that I need to extend this. And now I want to wrap these shadows around each pipe. Okay. They each appear to be round to me, so I'm kind of assuming that they're just three separate pipes, kind of attached together like that. And then I think I want a little bit around the halo bit. And I'll probably put a gradient over here too, but I do think I want the explicit shadow. Yes. Don't know why I couldn't think of the word, but, you know, words are hard. It's fine. Okay. I'll just color in the spots. And after that, I think I just want a little bit of line tool again. Help me out and hopefully get some nice shadow just between each pipe. Oh man, that's actually going to be a slight nightmare, isn't it? Oh well. It is what it is. I think rather than a cast shadow between the pipes, I'm just going to go ahead and light one side. I don't know. How do I want to do this, actually? Yeah. Yeah. So what I think I'm going to do instead of a cast shadow between the pipes, I'll just let the line do that for me. I'm just going to put half of them in, like, a little bit of shadow here. I think that'll be a little bit more visually interesting. Yeah, so just kind of like that. I think that looks pretty good. I like it. And then I just had to, you know, put in thin lines. So if this was 6, I probably want this one to be like 2 or 3. I'll try 2. Yeah, that seems about right. And I'll clean up this line once it's all done. And I will clean up the colors afterward too. Okay. So let's get rid of the excess lines here. Just on everything. It'll take a second to get through them all, but that's okay. Unfortunately, I think I just have to repeat this one more time on the other one. And the other one has more pipes, but it's smaller, so I don't think it'll be as bad. So I think I did the hard one first. So that's always nice. It'll be pretty smooth sailing from here, I think. Especially now that I know how I actually want it to look. Okay. Do I want to highlight? I think a highlight would look nice, actually. So let's do it. I have a highlight color for these over here already. So I'll go ahead and grab my line tool again. I'll make it a little bigger. Maybe 5. Just a little bit thinner than this line. And I'll just plop it here. I think I'll do it on a new layer just so I can easily erase the parts that I don't want to be highlighted. And then I'll merge it down after. Oh wait, I don't want to merge it down. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to do it on a new layer. I want to be able to change the color of the lines easy. So this will make certain parts of my life harder, but I think it'll make my life a little easier in the long run. Just because if I merge it down, it's going to mess up the stroke, and I won't be able to change the stroke color easy. That's what happened with the brooch on the ribbon, and I'm still a little bit sad about it, so... Okay. So with that, I can erase... Or I guess more accurately recolor the parts that I don't want to be in highlight. And there's a little bit more of that kind of through here too. Or I want the highlight here to kind of start and stop again. Okay. And then I should put some line around that as well. Just, you know, the simple 2-pixel one that I was doing over here. It's not going to be super visible, but nonetheless, I do want to be fairly consistent with that. And then I'll make it, add the gradients, make it shiny, and do all that nice stuff. Yeah, so I don't think I'll have any trouble finishing off her helicopterness today. I think I should be able to get it all. So that's exciting. It's always nice to finish off a big area like this. And once the upper half of the body is done, that's a nice milestone. And I will be happy, and I am pretty pleased with the progress today. Especially since I had to redraw so much of the arm. Glad to see it didn't slow me down too much. Life is good. Just close off the highlights here. And then I have to do some paint by numbers and fix these areas that have a little bit of shadow bleeding through. But that'll be about it for here. After gradients, of course. All right. Just a little bit of correction And that'll do it. That'll do it. See a little bit bleeding through here too. I want to keep everything nice and clean and separated. A little bit of bleeding right here. Okay, and there we go. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do the gradients I want. Just over here will be one. And then I want some lighter stuff on the tips here. And then a little bit extra highlight just around the highlights. Just over here. And a couple of key spots. I don't want it to be all the way across or anything, just where I think things should be a little shinier. Okay. First hand done. Now time for the second one. The one that has the decency to be a little bit shorter. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna start with kind of tapering off the edges here, making sure they are flat. And then I'm just gonna clean up the blurry sides. Not gonna worry about the middle, that'll all be changed and whatnot later, so it's all good. But I just don't really want the sides of this to be as blurry as they are. I just gotta paint over them real quick. That didn't really help. Gotta let it touch the edge a little. There we go. Right, 2 left. Yeah. Well, I mean, I have the golden hand too, but I think that one will be a little bit easier. So it's all good. I just feel like there's a little bit less going on there. It is made up of 1 pipe. As opposed to, you know, the 5 I gotta deal with here. Okay. So I think this is good. I'm just gonna kind of square things off a little, make sure I'm happy. Make sure that there are no blurry spots that I don't like. Yeah, so far so good. I think it's looking a lot better. Just a couple of spots that the line tool didn't quite hit to my satisfaction. Alright. But now I think it's good, so I'm gonna go color it a solid color. And I think the first thing I want to do is corrections around the edges here. There we go. And here too. And all the way down. Okay, there we go. Now everything is nice and square. Let's divide these up. I determined that 6 was good, so I'll stick with the width of 6. Oh man, I can't actually see where the first one starts though. Where's the round thing? Okay. Okay, it's a little funny shaped, but you know what? It's fine. It's all covered by stuff, so this is fine. Nope, I don't like that. No, that's still not the right spot. Man. Line tool. I know you're doing your best. Work with me here. Okay, that's okay. Now this one. Gonna try to be as parallel as I can, but I can already tell that I'm a little bit off. I think it's okay. One more. We good? I think we're good. I think it looks fine. Let's turn the circle back on. And I will get rid of the excess lines. Okay. Shadows. Shadow time. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it roughly the same as the way I did it before. I'm just gonna plop them down. Every spot. There we go. And I want to curve them a little bit, but I will do that after I draw the line in. Nice and thin. Just nice and thin all the way across. Make those pipes look nice and round. I'm not actually sure what they're supposed to be, but they look like pipes to me, so I will just call them that. Okay. Color it in. And now I have a bunch more little lines to draw. To get the rest of the longer shadows in, and I am so glad that I can use the line tool for this, because otherwise I would have such a hard time. I really would. Drawing straight lines that long, it's like, oh my god, nightmares. This still feels a little blurry to me. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. So, I think I will just plop in the shadows first. I know, right? It's wonderful. I'm so glad it exists. And that should be a little thicker than that. I want it to be a little bit less than half the width of the pipe here. That should be good. Okay, that should be good. Just 3 more. No, I don't like that. Okay, I got some bleeding, but I think I'll be okay. You know, just put a band-aid on it later, it'll be fine. Okay, so there's that. The line, I determined that 2 pixels looked great, so I will do that again. And we will just plop lines all the way down. All the way down. Yeah, I can tell that I'm gonna have to fix a bunch of stuff here, but that's okay. I can do that. I could always fix it. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna get rid of the excess lines first. And then I will worry about the other problems. And oh, I didn't draw the one there. I think I did. I must have just accidentally deleted it. Whoops. Oh well. I'll just do it again. Come on. Let me pan, Krita. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Alright, now I can go and erase the excess lines. And then I think I'll plop in the highlights. I'll do that before I fix any of the spots kind of bleeding out into other spots. I'll just get all the colors down and then I'll worry about that. Okay. So, highlight. Let's see, I think I want it a little thinner than that. Yeah, this should be good. I actually don't think I want any highlight on the top there, so I will just highlight you here. This one will go all the way through, and then I'll just color over the parts I don't want highlighted again. This one, I don't think I want it to be have any highlights at the top, so I'll just draw here. And this one doesn't even have a top, so there we go. I kind of want to decide the spots that I don't want there to be highlights on right now before I do the lines. I think that will make my life a little easier. Oh, that's right, I didn't even finish cleaning up the lines. Whoops. Oh, that's okay. I can do these things in any order. As long as I get it all. That's one of those times where you can tell it's almost end of stream time. Where I start getting even more absent-minded than usual. Alright, I'll go ahead and clean up the rest of the lines before I go ahead and line the highlights. The highlight lines aren't super noticeable, but I do think that they make enough of a difference that I like to have them. It is true. Okay, this is the reason that I only do 3 hours and not like 4 or 5. I'm amazed at the people that can. I prefer just to come back every day. Okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and... yeah, I think I'll go ahead and line the highlight now. Again, about 2 pixels is plenty. They're very, very thin lights, but I do like them, so I will still keep it. But I am determined to finish a Kronii's helicopter, so I will do that golden hand as well before I head out. I don't think it'll take me very long. I just feel like it'd be a shame to leave her unable to fly before I leave. Man, the endurance on people is something else. I mean, I don't blame them. Streaming is fun, but I don't know. After a while, I just start kind of losing my mind. So I figure that's a good time to stop. Alright, let's go ahead and fix all this bleeding. And then I can do the gradients, and that will be it for this one too. So almost there. Almost. Okay, and here needs a little bit of dark. I mean, I can understand sitting in a place for 8 hours straight. Sometimes off stream. I mean, not so much lately because I have kids and they need attention, but before then, I could absolutely sit and draw for 8 hours straight sometimes. Like, there's sometimes I couldn't. Especially if I was still working out the composition and stuff. Like, that was mentally intensive enough that I'd have to take a break. But yeah, off stream, especially if I'm rendering, can absolutely sit there for 8 hours straight with no problem. Add in talking to people at the same time, man, that just, like, melts my brain. So I have a little bit of a harder time. Alright, gradient time. It actually is amazing just how much trying to explain what I'm doing makes this harder. You wouldn't think it'd be that much harder, but it is. It absolutely is. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of light on top of this one too. And maybe just a little bit of shadow down here. There we go. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. Okay, I still want to kind of correct the edge of the second hand here. It's a little bit blurry. Why are you a bad color? I thought I picked. I did not. Okay. Well, fair enough. Okay, it doesn't want to smooth. Okay, I'll just do it manually. Oh, because you're an airbrush, no wonder you don't want to smooth. Okay, in that case, I had the wrong brush selected, so maybe I can just do it with the line tool. Maybe. And I mean, it's okay. I don't think that you necessarily have to sit in places for a long time to be able to draw things. Just do what works for your brain. It's just nice for me because once I get going, I can really get going. I just remember when I was rigging this model, anytime my kids let me sit down at all, I'd just be poking at it. And I'd go for pretty much as long as I could. This actually gets thinner near the top. I didn't notice. No, it doesn't. Am I crazy? No, it gets a little bit thinner. Okay. I will adjust that then. Still just using the line tool. I just have it set to erase instead of draw this time. Alright, there we go. What's going on here? Shenanigans. Okay. Well, you know, fair enough. Let's get rid of those shenanigans. Okay. So I already have good colors picked, and I really think that this just needs a little bit of light and shadow, and it'll be done. Oops. That's right. I still have it set to erase. That's why I figured that I'd just do this one real quick. Okay, so sometimes you just get in the zone, and it's a beautiful thing. Time becomes immaterial, and you can do anything, and it is a great feeling. Until you forget to eat. Then maybe it has a slight problem. But until then, it's pretty great. Alright, shadow down the side. I'm just gonna go ahead and... Oh man, I didn't have it locked? I thought I did. Oh god, that means I have it wrong. Okay. The computer must have thought I double-clicked again. Rude. I did not. I did want the layer to be locked. Okay. But, you know, no problem. I fixed it. It's all good. Alright, let's get the line on there. Back down to, what was it, 4? Yeah, 6 for the big one, 2 for the little one. Okay. Man, I don't want it to bleed up there. I don't mind it a little, but it's like... I'm just getting started. I might as well try to get the top part looking okay. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Alright, time to erase the parts that I don't need. Just a few... Okay. And I guess I will give it a little highlight too. I have a highlight color right here. What, is there a problem with ordering food? Alright, there we go. I will color in the parts that should not have highlights. Just same process again. I gotta make this go a little faster because I'm already over time, but I really just kind of want to finish it up. I actually don't think down here needs a highlight. Okay, cool. All right, let's go put the lines on. 2 pixels. White. Here we go. God becomes speed. And then I'll go fix all the bleeding, and that'll do it. I see. Okay, let's fix the bleeding. I want it to be lit well all the way. I want it to be light all the way at the top here. Just something special for this hand. And okay. Is that all the bleeding? Not quite. It's pretty close. Okay, there we go. Now, gradient time. And ta-da! She can now fly. So I think next time I'm going to start doing some of the details on her clothes and stuff, so the pinstripes will be there, but I think that's the only thing I just kind of skipped over. Oh yeah, I haven't done her earrings either. I should do that. So yeah, next time will also be earrings. Then I can get into the legs, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I am able to finish her off next time. That'd be pretty sweet. But like I said, over time, so I gotta stop. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. And I hope you're not gonna be as rushed as I am here, so I'll see you later. Bye-bye.